Good evening, everyone. Let me clear my throat. This is Rockin' Larry Lockin. You know, I've been thinking about a lot the last few weeks or so. I've been talking about it, of course, with some of my co-hosts. And, you know, channeling, how you channel, it's different for different people, you know, at least from what I can say. Look, I can only speak from my experience in channeling over the years and how it came to me. I mean, they came to me. First of all, my story, I'm not here to get into my story of how I got all these contacts, right? But, or I'll touch on it a little bit, but they came to me. I wasn't really seeking anything out like that, right? I mean, I was very aware of everything else. I mean, I was born awakened, but I thought about UFOs. I listened to Coast to Coast sometimes and shit, but I was really into politics is what I was into, right? So, but I'm going to get into how I channel. I would describe it like if you've ever seen the media, it's a wire. I get like a wire. There's like a cosmic news wire that goes to the airwaves, and I get it through certain people. Plus, we're radio stations. You know, our bodies are radio stations. Seriously, folks. I mean, powerful ones when we realize it. And we can tune into all these frequencies and different there's millions and probably millions. There's a shitload of collectives out there. I mean, I've met a shitload of them anyway through the cosmos, through the cosmic wire, and deal with a lot of them, like 32 of them over the years I have. Okay, I mean, most of them are from Pleiades. 5 of them are from Arcturus, and they came one by one, but I only had one of them until about a year and a few months ago. I only had one of them, and I'd only had like a few dealings with them ever, channelings through them that I had, right? It was mostly all Pleiadians. And then, except I've also got this one guy. I think I'm the only guy channeling them in the mainstream. I'm not sure, but I think so. Procyon, they're a 7th dimensional. They've got a couple 7th dimensional big Earth-like planets that are as warm as the sun. I mean, these guys are like the Pleiadians on steroids. They're wild. Okay, they astral travel like 23 hours a day consciously. I mean, when I say consciously, I mean like flying through the air like Superman and shit when they want to. And they rest the equivalent to about an hour of a day. I mean, Valance is the guy I talked to from the Purine, the Procyon Ambassador Orb ship. And he has told me that, yeah, if they were to put it in Earth terms, they rest about an hour. They don't need to or have to. They just do because they're constantly go. And they're really like an enlightened party-like society. I mean, I'm not going to really get into I've got 5 channelings on air with him. And you can hear, you know, about their story. It's vast. But channeling comes in like a wire, like a telegram, like a news feed. It comes right in through me, right? And that's kind of how I pick it up and contact them. And have, you know, and now it gets a little deeper if I go into one-on-one conversations with them, which I don't do much anymore. And I could if I wanted to, or I've told people if you have any questions, I will ask them a question and have an interaction with them. But I've dealt with them so long for years that I just let them, you know, I don't want to use the term use me, guys. Use me as a vehicle, as a voice now, right? When they want something. When I first meet a new one, I talk to them a little bit, but as long as I know that I have this feeling they're cool, and which they are until they say something that's not, right? So, or that's really out of line. I mean, as long as it's not threatening anybody or giving any misinformation on purpose, it sounds like bullshit, you know, whatever they want to say. Seriously, I mean, I'm easy like that, but I ain't an idiot either. Okay, so it comes in like a wire through my pineal gland, through my 3rd eye. It comes fused in like that. And no, I mean, it ain't no deception, or maybe they're putting a mind control on me. I don't think so. I mean, I'm conscious of all of it. Look, I've had over 600 channelings, if I count them all up, like, seriously. And so, only about except for a handful of them, and I mean like literally 3 to 5 of them, they're all conscious. Like, I was having a one-on-one conversation with you, but it was kind of in the mind, but it wasn't hearing voices. It was just thought process back and forth, right? Like you know, because it's kind of staticky to get through to space, you know, like sending like a telegram through the wire, right? Kind of like that. It's really different for everybody. I've had one, and you know, this is the funny thing. I've only had one that I'm aware of, and we all have dreams all the time, and we don't realize it. I've only had one conscious dream where I had contact with them, and it was wild. And it was with it started a chain of meeting 9 of these people that are part of a clique called the Pleiade Girls that went to a college. They tell me they went to this college in a city called Zarata on the planet of Era in the Mayan system, okay? And, you know, I know the Era, that's supposedly where Semyasis from and all that, but, you know, their story. And then the first one I met was in a dream. She was pink. Her name is Fusacia. I met her in a dream, and it was really bizarre. But it was weird. I was on a human-like planet. It looked like beautiful. We were like out in a beautiful countryside, all kinds of beautiful-looking humans around. But the thing was, is they were pink. Yeah, they were, seriously, they were pink, and she was too. And I met her, and I've got the story on tape somewhere. You know, I asked her where I was at. Or she said, "Do you know where you're at?" is what she said. The first conscious thing I remember in the dream, "Do you know where you're at?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, you're in the Pleiades." And I said, "Well, where at?" I said, Maya. I started like I am, kind of comical and kind of become off bit shitty. I was like, she was trying to tell me, and I'm like, to get the Maya, Skaya. My daughter's name is Skaya, and that's what I remember saying to her in her dream, because my daughter's name is Skaya. And she would just look kind of like miffed, and she pulled out this tablet from the back of her, wherever the hell she grabbed it from, behind her, and showed me on a star system where their planet was. And it was up between, I believe, between Taygeta and Maya, and one of the other one, that other one it's slipping my mind right now. I'm having a senior moment, folks. I know all the Star Sisters. Which one was it? No, it wasn't Merope, Estropi. I don't know. No. Maya and Taygeta were the two, but then there was a third one, but it was closer to Taya. It was kind of between, what I'm trying to get at, it was between Taygeta, Maya, and this other one of the sisters, but it was closest to Taygeta and Maya by a little bit. So she showed me where the planet was. She whipped out this, I swear to God, this tablet, and it had the star cluster on it, and she pointed. And she started telling me about how they knew about us. I asked her, I said, "Well, do you know, understand your leaders or whatever, do you guys know about Earth humans?" And she said, yes, they tune into us. They were taught at a young age to meditate and use their mind like a radio station and transmit all the, try to contact things out there. And her thing was with humans, other human race, because they're a human race too, where I was at, but they were pink. Yeah, and here's another side story about that pink thing. The ones that reached about, once you got mature, like, okay, our equivalent to about, I don't know, 20, 30s, 40s, whatever, right, 30s, you turn pink, but before that you kind of glowed a pink. It was really a weird, they were like, she said they were kind of like a upper 6th dimension, lower 7th dimensional planet. I'm like, okay. But she used to, back to the story, she used to tune into us as a little girl, and then she helped develop a device, she said, where she could actually tune in and see and hear and shit going on, kind of half-ass going on in planets far, far away, and she saw Earth, and it disturbed her because the way Earth was. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can understand that, I told her. And God, I'm having a lapse in brain power right here, but so I met her, and then I started meeting these other ones. It started with her, and then this blue flame goddess, and the blue flame goddess said there was more to come, and that she knew the pink. I had no idea they were connected at first, and then they told me they were, and then I found out they'd been watching me since I was about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. In the late 70s, at their time, they were putting it in the time realm of when they were in their dimension, in their time frame, right? Yeah, where they were, what it would have been conducive to, because they were tuning into me where they were from, the dimension they were in real time and shit, right? But they didn't contact me until about a year ago, because they know I already have guides, and they just kind of, from Pleiades, they just kind of left it alone, left me alone. But that's what I'm saying. You have guides and stuff like that, but you can tune into things throughout the frequency. That's why you gotta watch, watch your frequency, I mean, I can talk a lot of trash myself, but, I stay in my zone and in my frequency, and, dude, I ain't, just be careful. Whatever you put out there, make sure you actually monitor what comes in, Yeah, they say watch what you put out there, your frequency. I'm always saying that too, but, you then watch who comes in, and, tell it goodbye if it doesn't resonate with you. I mean, they know better than with me. But that's really the channeling part of it is really fascinating how others do it. And see, and I channel too and have contacted all those ETs, but the thing about it is, right, it still fascinates the hell out of me how others do it. My co-host of the Conscious Conversation show, Carolyn Lanier Roberts, she has a real smooth flow about her when she channels, and it's really like with her guides, she'll sit there methodically and just talk to them for 2 seconds and get it. And it isn't like hearing somebody just, it isn't like look weird or it wouldn't look really that weird to even somebody who wasn't in this. It isn't like somebody sitting there and going, and like they're talking to somebody else that isn't there, right? It's not like that. Carolyn's is a real smooth flow with them, and it's, you know, and she does it just in motion wonderfully. But you know, it comes into your pineal gland like that, but some people do get it in dreams. Some people dream and get good dreams and dream and contact them, right? And go to other realms when they dream that they're conscious of. See, that's the deal. We all do, but then there's those that are conscious of it, right? They remember it, and they've been trained maybe to write their dreams down. I don't know. Like I said, I've only had one. And then I had a couple where I'm not going to go into it, but they put me in a real deep trance like twice early on, and it was for a kind of a humor. What came out of it was a couple of really funny few-minute videos I taped called The Insomniac Stalker about a guy from Pleiades that came down here, and he got really frustrated with people he'd hear couldn't sleep, overhear people at the store or wherever the hell he was, couldn't sleep, and he'd start getting really paranoid and want to start stalking people till they started getting sleep, following them. It's funny, you'll have to look it up, Insomniac Stalker 1 and 2. I've got, you know, a video of it if anybody's interested. It's just a quick audio, but you can find it in a lot of places. But the pineal gland receives this information, and you receive it back. That's how it happens for me. I can't sit here and go, that's how it is, because I have no clue. I have no more clue than somebody who's never channeled how somebody else does it, except for the technique of it, kind of like I'm describing, like, you know, that they do and understand that they do, but I can't speak for anybody else. I have, you know, just observation. I have no idea how inside of their inner, how, you know, exactly how it is, right? I mean, I'm sure if they broke it down for me completely and told me, like, you know, yeah, I would, okay, I get that. But I don't know how it feels, right? I can only speak for how I feel when I've channeled these extraterrestrials, and most of them are in a complete awakened state. The Pleiadian girls sometimes have had me relax before, but especially the Blue Orb Goddess. Okay, that's another story. If you ever heard her, people, yeah, probably the only guy. She's the only guy that I've ever actually had we have had a little problem with each other before. It was early on, and just a little misunderstanding between us that I'm not going to get into. But we don't really talk. I just let her come in. I mean, you know what I mean? She's cool, whatever she does. I don't really, you know, talk to her. Unless somebody wanted me to ask her a question, I would. But I don't, you know, I exit stage left when she comes in stage right. She goes back out stage right. I come back in stage left. And, you know, as long as it's really, and she's probably the only channel that I have that I've really thought about. I've looked at her words and the innuendo that have come out of me, because I am in a kind of a trance when she channels, and I really, once I'm done right away, I have to look back because I don't remember what the hell she said. If you ever heard her before, yeah, fuck. I mean, but she doesn't mean it like that. But the way she comes across is really racy with innuendos about things. Yeah, I think anyway. You know, but dude, I'm not going to censor it unless it's threatening, you know what I mean? If she was using explicit words or something, I would, you know, not do that. But anyway, that's how channeling comes in, and these collectives have come in one by one, and I've even told them, come on, I don't need another one. I've got 5 from Arcturus now. Dig this. I've got the 12th dimensional Arcturian translucent color realms. I've got the 13th dimensional crystal blue angels. Okay, the 14th dimensional amethyst angels. Oh, it don't stop there. No. Hey, we're just over halfway there. Okay, I've got the 15th dimensional emerald angels, and now the 16th dimensional fusation angels, which I've only channeled the last 2 once each. Okay, they're new. I'm just Arcturian. I'm a Pleiadian dude, really, and I like the Procyon guy too. He's really cool as hell. But you know, when I'm dealing with the Arcturians, for me. And God, I don't know why they want to keep. Yeah, I've told them they're like dealing with my grandparents or something. You know what I mean? They're great, of course. But that's how I feel when I'm talking to them. And one of the collectives actually likes to first ask me personal questions and shit, like just nothing serious, but you know, like I had a date or something once, and one of the, she was like, "Oh, how'd that go?" I had not, you know, I'm like, "Oh, well." All I could say, it was really uncomfortable versus if a Palladian guy would have all out of the blue asked me that. I said, well, you ought to know how it went. And that's all I could think to say, real nervous. Well, you ought to know. And she didn't press it any further, but they're like dealing with my grandparents for me or something, right? They're like, yeah, very wise, and, you know, it's a different flow with them for sure. Something, you know, old Lair's got to get up to speed more with. I mean, I've got 5 of them now. I had to use them. They're wonderful. Maybe they're trying to tell me to step up to the Arcturian plate more. Oh, would you think? 5 of them. But anyway, that's kind of how I channel and how that shit flows. It comes in through me. Some people dream. Some people get it in deep meditation. I know. Some people, yeah, you know, get it. Some people astral travel to the fucking Pleiades consciously. I have once, and that's it. And I've got that on audio. That's it. And you know, that's like twice. Okay, I forgot that other time. Twice I've astral traveled since I was a kid that I remember, and that's it. So people will have different methods of channeling, but I'm like a radio receiver, tuning in staticky. I'll even get, like the issue I'm having right now, if anybody hears this, I'm having a few of them. There's a lot of shit going on in activity, right? I'm having a lot of them wanting to tune in to me. Right, and they do it on your time, but, you know, I'm like, okay, I had a brief interruption there. Yeah, sorry, but the Arcturian translucent color realms, they are wanting to channel me right now. So are the orbs, the Rainbow Orb Collective. I haven't talked to them in a long time. The Rainbow Orbs from Pleiades. They're like a military peacekeeping fleet. They're the ones I channeled mainly for 8 years. And I've got blue frequencies. I've got some of the Pleiade girls. It's really static, and I'm trying to figure out which one to channel first. So that's what I'm dealing with now. But, you know, if you have any further questions about channeling, I'll be glad to help. If anybody hears this, you can contact me. Larry Locke can channel almost everywhere, you know. And it's different surnames like Pleiadian Blue Sky Orbs or Lemonadian Pleiadian Tumbling Orb on Tumblr, which is about a dead-ass place to be. Good night, everybody, and God bless.